the non-inverting amplifier using operational amplifier IC. Right? So before entering into the circuit diagram and output waveform of non-inverting amplifier IC, we must refresh pin diagram and circuit symbol of operational amplifier IC. So pin diagram IC 741. It consists of 8 pin. Pin number 1 is offset null, pin number 2 inverting input, and pin number 3 non-inverting input, and pin number 4 is minus VCC, pin number 5 is offset null, pin number 6 output, pin number 7 minus VCC, and pin number 8 is no connection. Right? So there are 2 input pin and we have 1 output pin. So which is the circuit symbol of op-amp IC 741. So pin number 2 is inverting input, pin number 3 is non-inverting input, and pin number 6 is output, and we have to do a supply to operate this IC. So pin number 4 is minus VCC and pin number 7 is plus VCC. So this is the circuit symbol of operational amplifier IC 741. Right? So depending upon the input given to this operational amplifier IC, we can operate this IC in 2 modes. One is inverting amplifier mode and another one is non-inverting amplifier mode. If the input is given to pin number 2, which is inverting input pin, then the amplifier is said to be inverting amplifier, and if the input is given to pin number 3, so which is non-inverting input pin, if the input is given to that pin, the amplifier output is called as non-inverting input. Right? So in previous session we have discussed about the inverting amplifier. So we all know that what is amplifier. So amplifier is nothing but the output quantity has to be higher than the input quantity. Either it may be voltage or current. See, the output value will be greater than the input value. Then we can say that as amplifier. Right? So let us discuss about non-inverting amplifier. As I said earlier, we have to give input to the non-inverting pin. So here it is, pin number 3 is non-inverting input pin. So we have to give input to that pin number 3. Right? And pin number 1 has to be grounded through a input resistance Ri, and we have to ground this pin. And pin number 6 we can get it as an output, so which is output terminal, and we have to give a feedback connection to this bar. So it is given through the feedback resistor Rf. So Rf is called feedback resistor and Ri is input resistance, and we are giving input voltage to the non-inverting input pin number 3, and pin number 2 is inverting input pin. We can take this as a node A, always you assume this as a virtual ground, that is imaginary ground. Right? So the output voltage of this non-inverting amplifier is given by V0 is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1 into Vi. So here Vi is input voltage, Rf is feedback resistance, R1 is input resistance, and using this formula we can calculate the output voltage of non-inverting amplifier. Right? So let us assume, and this value, that is ACL is close to gain of this amplifier is 1 plus Rf by R1. Right? So this is close to gain, so that we can reframe this output voltage equation as V0 is equal to ACL into Vi. So which is the output equation of a non-inverting amplifier. Right? Let us assume the same value, that is R1 as 2 kilo ohm and Rf as 4 kilo ohm, and I am giving input voltage Vi as 1 volt. I can calculate V0 value as V0 is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1 into Vi. So that substitute all the values in this equation, we can get output voltage V0 as 1 plus the Rf value is 4 kilo ohm and Rn value is 2 kilo ohm into V, we are giving it as 1 volt. So that I can get 1 plus 2 into 1, so that is 3 volt. V0 I can get it as 3 volt. Right? So here we are giving input voltage as 1 volt and we are getting output V0 as 3 volt. Right? Here non-inverting amplifier. Right? So here we are considering Vi as 1 volt. So that is V input. That is input voltage is 1 volt, and we are getting output voltage as 3 volt. Right? So let us draw the graph. So in x-axis we have to take time period. In y-axis we can take V in volts. Right? So draw the input waveform first. Draw a sinusoidal waveform, and we can get output as, in x-axis we have to take time millisecond, and y-axis we can take V naught in volts. Right? So here, whatever the input voltage we are giving, that is amplified without inverting it. So that we can draw the waveform like this. Should be in amplified version. So the input voltage we are giving it as 1 volt, and we are getting output voltage as 3 volt. Right? So you have to draw the waveform like this. So finally I will conclude what is inverting amplifier and what is non-inverting amplifier. Right? So if the input voltage is given to the inverting input pin, then the amplifier is said to be inverting amplifier. Right? And if